guys, and welcome to Pat and Brad Unbox. Potentially the first in a series, or honestly it's just going to be a one-off thing, where my brother, Patrick, and I unbox different things. This episode is about Sentinels of the Multiverse, a game that Pat was introduced to by one of your work buddies, right?
Yeah, by Alan, a couple of years ago.
Basically, he learned about the game, he told me about it, so I'm interested in it, and Patrick, you backed the project?
Yeah, I backed the Kickstarter at the Everything Ever Pack, which is this huge box, which I'll talk a little bit about. You know, it's like 17 pounds, it's a lot of peripherals. I'll set it down here for a minute so we can tear it apart and really dive into it.
Yeah, but basically he backed it, and finally, like, everything shipped, well, not everything, but a good portion of the stuff shipped out to him, because, well, you told me different stuff's going to ship out at different times? Or?
Yeah, there's going to be 3 different boxes from the sounds of it. There's supposed to be one box that had the everything before, and then the new box that'll come out in January or February, but due to, like, shortages or whatever, they have it in this box, and I'll be getting another box, and then we'll get to stuff in January, so.
Cool. Also, just for a timestamp, it's September right now, September 26th. 15th, yeah. 2016, so January 2017 is roughly he'll have everything. But basically Pat knows a lot about it, so he's the expert, like, he knows a lot about it, and for me this is just like getting acquainted with the universe, so he's going to talk about it, I'm going to pose questions, you know, thoughts, etc. at him as best I can, and we'll just go from there. So, Pat, if you want to start pulling out whatever you got.
The first thing we got here is Dinosaur. It's
cool.
It's a raptor bot. It's a little plushie. It's called Mr. Chomps. This is actually, you know, one of those things they did as a promotional with one of the Heroes Unity. So I think that's kind of cool and exciting.
Very cool. So is like Mr. Chomps one of the heroes, or is he just a cool random thing?
He's basically an assistant character. You know, the way the game works, which I can go into more later, is you have your heroes, you have your equipment, you have your ongoings, and you have, you know, your idols, and you have your relics, and you have your machines. And, you know, she has machines that do combat for her. She has like a stealth bot, she has an armor bot, all these different things. And Mr. Chomps is actually something that she controls, like, which has lower HP and has its own attacks, and it's kind of a little cool, you know, a really cool piece to have, I think.
That's awesome. And also he's for ages 3 and up, according to the tag. So kids, just saying, if you want a cool raptor bot, you can have one, as long as you're 3. Alright, so first up we got something in bubble wrap.
Lots of bubble wrap. They made sure it was safe.
Exactly. So good on you guys for making sure everything is safe and bubble wrapped, and we actually have an unboxing now, so I'll let you talk about it.
Yeah, this first box, this is the original pack, the original game. You know, I think this is like the 2nd edition because they did, enhanced edition. You know, because they released it, it should have, I believe, 10 heroes, 4 villains, you know, 4 environments or whatever. It's 2 to 5 players. Usually, whenever we've done, it's always been 5 because it's just really fun. It's basically a superheroes versus supervillains in their own continuity. It has nothing to do with any of the major Image or DC or Marvel or anything. It's their own creations, their own unique characters. But they have a lot of archetypes. You'll see things that have a similarness to, like, you know, Bishop from Marvel Comics, or Batman from DC, or Lex Luthor from DC, or Wolverine from, you know, it's very cool. They've got a lot of different, you know, you've got just a lot of, like, your Superman type, your Lex Luthor type, you know, your Flash, you know, just to name a couple. So it's a really cool box, but, you know, it's got, like I said, 10 heroes, 8 villains, and 4 environments, so the variant villains, so it's only 4 villains, so just slide it down.
Awesome, very cool, very nice looking. Like the art, guys, good work.
Very good art.
Whoever, Sentinel Comics or whatever your group is, like, you guys rock. I'm loving it.
Greater than games.
Greater than games, thank you.
Yeah,
he knows.
I forgot.
He's fine. Anyway, next up we got...
This is the first expansion they did, which is the Rook City and the Infernal Relics. They introduced a lot of really cool characters in this one. They have one of my personal favorites, Mr. Fixer. He's just a guy that is like an older mechanic that uses, you know, like tire irons and stuff to fight, and it's very cool. It's very like,
nice.
You know, like very much like Steel and Superman. I think that's like the best way. You know, and they have Argon Adept. They have a lot of really cool. It added a lot of different expansions to the game. I just had a blast with it. You know.
Very nice. Again, awesome box art. And again, so I'm not saying a lot of cool stuff. Like I said, this is my first reaction to stuff, so like I'm being introduced, and hopefully I'll be playing this soon with him so I can actually learn and understand the game. But he's talked with me about it a bit before, and it sounds very cool and interesting. And yeah, this was and also really quick. The video was Pat's idea, so thank you to him for that. And we'll move on to the next part.
This is the Vengeance expansion. This was another, I should have said earlier, the original game, and then that's a mega expansion, because they have mini expansions, which I'll go into in just a second. But the mega expansion has, you know, like 8 heroes, or 10 heroes, or whatever it ranges. But it's very cool. These all add into the original game. I don't know if you can play these standalone or not. I don't recall. I think you can play these standalone, like, you know. Yeah, you can do it standalone. I do it with all of them. It's fun to mix them in. Different heroes and just playing from, you know. I don't remember what they specifically did with Vengeance. You know, they had this one had a lot of new villains. I think Baron Blade got a new thing in there. I'm not 100%, but you know, it's just really cool. Total, I think that we're at like 30 heroes or something approximately, and like 12 or 15 villains, and you know, it's just really cool. It's really exciting, and you know, like I said, this is another mega expansion. These first two are mega expansions, and then we'll go into the mini expansions in just a second here.
Again, I like the box art. It's very cool and like very. I definitely like, you know, Vengeance, and it's like very red and dark. Like it sounds like it's going to be evil and very villainy, and it just appeals to me for some reason.
On that note of villainy, we've got a better one that's more villainy than this, which we'll get into later.
I'm curious about that then. So let's get on to...
Right now I want to jump into the mini expansions. This is Omnitron 4. Omnitron is a planet, it's a villain, it's a hero. Omnitron is huge in this universe. And really exciting, in the most recent expansion, they have Omnitron U, which is Unity rebuilt Omnitron after he was destroyed. So there we'll get a variant for him and a whole new, like, I'm really excited. It's just been cool as heck, because like these are not just card games. There's a whole story, and each one has a comic book inside that talks about what specifically happened in this timeline, and you know what makes this significant. It's not just, oh, go buy the next expansion for our game. Like, it's like any, you know, book series or any video game series or any movie series. The next, you know, the sequel always adds something new. It brings back a lot of the characters you're familiar with, you know, changes them for the better or the worse, and shows, you know, so like, Omnitron 4 is a very cool, because Omnitron 4 is basically where they built all of these different robots, and Omnitron is more like Mega Man, I guess, would be something I would compare him to. You know, we'll talk more about it in one of these later videos, but it's a really cool mini expansion. And the environment decks, the thing may seem a little smaller. It's only got 15 cards, plus, you know, the environment, the card itself, so.
Cool. So pretty much like if you played other games like maybe Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic the Gathering, it essentially looks like, you know, just like a booster pack, like, oh hey.
Exactly.
You just get like 10, 15 cards or whatever.
Exactly. So,
again, legit, very cool that they include that with all the big expansions too. So there's going to be a lot to play around with.
Yes.
So let's see what else we got in the box.
Alright, this one I've not really played with as much. This is a hero mini expansion. I think there should be like 11 of these in total, I'm pretty sure. Maybe 14. I don't remember. There's a lot. But this is the Scholar. He is another hero. Like I said, I'm not really familiar with this, but it's kind of neat. Like, I don't know if you want to read the back of this out loud to start here.
I guess it's the Scholar's backstory. John Rhodes always had an affinity for ley lines, I believe.
Yep.
He could feel them stretch around him, connecting all reality. When the lines drew him to a mysterious stone, he knew it was somehow his. With the stone, he could twist the lines and transmute physical objects, including himself, into other materials. I'm bad at speaking. Or reading, I'm not sure. But Scholar mostly keeps to himself, though. He's willing to share wise words and a drink with any passerby. Sometimes the lines pull and twang concerningly. He cares deeply for the ley lines, easing their tensions by stopping extra-planal entities from entering our world or soothing the nightmares of a comatose child. Occasionally he works with others to accomplish his goals. Doesn't mind a little company now and then. Mainly he just wants to keep things copacetic.
I think that's very cool, you know, and like, just that those 2 paragraphs really goes into a lot of the backstory and how these aren't just something these guys created to pump money out. Like, they care about these characters, they add their interesting stories, and you can compare that to like a Doctor Strange or, you know, a Shazam or whatever, however you want to view it. But it's kind of cool how these characters have their own story, but it's not a rip-off of another entity. It's not like, well, that's Batman, or that's Doctor Strange, or that's Mr. Terrific. It's like, this is a cool, we took something we liked, we made it into, you know, and the art on these, like you said before, is just beautiful. Like, I don't know if they can see it, or
I don't know if you guys can see it, or maybe like afterwards I'll try and get some pictures of different things.
Yeah, we can always do a zoom in or something, maybe just on the table, show everything again.
Oh yeah. But yeah, definitely Pat touched on all the cool stuff, like they put the details into these characters, they really care about backstories and stuff like that, and again, I didn't know anything about it, and legit guys, you know, Greater Than Games, very much a lot of respect for you guys for that. So, what else you got for me?
Yeah, this next thing is just another mini expansion. I'm going to go through most of the mini expansions right now. That's what's coming up, is the Celestial Tribunal. I don't know. I've never done this one. I'm very excited to try it out, though. Cool. You know, I've played this game like 5 or 6 times, and I've not. There's like 30-something heroes to play as. I've not tried out nearly a third. I played out like a third of the heroes or a fourth of the heroes. I've not played in half of the environments. I've not fought half the villains. And the cool thing is, every hero villain setup is very different. One thing that I forgot to bring up in the beginning is the nemesis thing. Is you have certain heroes that have their own nemesis. So whenever you're fighting a hero nemesis pair, they damage each other +1 to everything they do. So it's very real. Like if you had like a Lex Luthor Superman thing, it'd be like they're the animosity of each other, or a Joker Batman.
Cool.
So this is another cool environment, you know.
Awesome. Cool. So Celestial Tribunal. I don't know what else to really say. I don't want to take too long in the video, so yeah. I guess we'll just keep rolling along to the next thing, guys.
Another mini expansion, Final Wasteland. You know, just cool environments.
Cool.
No, I've not played this one, tried it out yet either. I'm very excited to.
Cool. Yeah.
Cool. Ambuscade. This is awesome villain. I love this one. Ansel Moreau, world-famous French action movie star, has a few dark secrets. His big game hunting hobby spiraled out of control. His constant need for bigger and more threatening prey has him hunting the very heroes that protect the Earth. He employed a shady genetics corporation to give him powers, but the process went terribly wrong, scarring his $1 million face and ending his career.
That's crazy.
So it's very cool. Like, that's a very original. I don't know of any, you know.
I can't think of anything.
You know, you could draw something to Clayface being or, right. You know, you could draw Dr. Doom, or, you know, but it's not like those also. It's, you know, so it's relatable, but he's so cool, and he is just an awesome villain. He's just, I've played this one a couple of times already, and between, you know, the other thing is they have the app through the iStore and through Steam, and the Apple's, the
Google Play, I think.
Google Play, that was what I was looking for. They have it on there. You can try all these out also. I like the physical versions, but that is one of my favorite villains.
Cool. That's awesome. I'll have to keep an eye out for that, definitely. And also, really quick, guys, if you haven't put it together, you know, Pat's made a lot of references to, you know, like Marvel, DC. Like, he knows his comics a lot, so definitely, I would say, you know, he knows if they're, you know, ripping off or, you know, borrowing ideas from Marvel, DC, whatever. And legit, like, these all sound very cool. So, just want to throw that little tidbit in there for you.
Yeah, that's what I like, is like, it feels like they're similar, but it's because they're an archetype. It's not like, they're like, well, let's make Bruce Wayne, but let's rename him, something else, and just throw his cards in here. Like, all these characters have a unique backstory. All of them work well together. Some of the heroes like each other, some of them don't. And in none of these all of the expansions we've shown on the table so far, in the mini expansions, the villains it's always, 2 heroes up to 5 heroes versus 1 villain. And that's just the way it operates in one environment. But another villain, Wager Master, you could say this is like Mr. Mitzelplick, but it's not at all. Like, Wager Master commonly goes for centuries without showing up anywhere in the multiverse, but when it does, it's safe that things will go wrong. Wager Master thrives on playing with the rules of reality. It appears that a race of sentient beings plays games with whatever champions they might have and then destroys everything as they inevitably lose the games. Those who lose to the Wager Master become mere playing pieces for more twisted games.
That's cool.
Now, unfortunately, the capricious Wager Master has appeared on Earth. Too many events have transpired, too many coincidences, and too many confluences point to a truth. We are all pawns in a cruel game to an entity as old as the multiverse itself. What chance do the Sentinels have in such a multiverse? And it's cool, like, he's like Mr. Mitzelplick, but he's not at all, it's kind of like, you could say this is like a guy that would be leading the Secret Wars in the Marvel Universe, or, he could be one of the Guardians of Oa, but he's not at all. Like, it's very cool how they use these, like I said before, and I'll say again, archetypes. They're not stealing, but they're using things you're familiar with, but not familiar with at all, and making it their own. I just love it. It's just, they're very smart, and you can tell the guys that made this, the Greater Than Games guys, just are brilliant. They appreciate comics like the rest of us do, like I do, and they, created their own storylines and made this into a really fun thing that we can all talk about and whatever.
Cool. I got nothing. I mean, like, legit. I think he said it pretty well, so I think if you got another thing to pull up.
This is my favorite hero, excuse me. This is another mini expansion. We already touched on her a little bit with Miss Chance.
Oh, right.
This is the character, and this will probably be the last one I read out loud, but it's just awesome. Young Deborah Casper's parents were shocked when she began building things without even touching them. She could simply think about the components in front of her and began assembling themselves. She was a technopath. Anything that could visualize, she could build, given the right parts. And there's a lot more on these things. But her thing is just so different, She just puts bots into play and fights for her. And she has her own thing, and she can die and everything. And that's the cool thing. Whenever, if you're playing it with your friends or whatever, and you die, you're not out of the game. You're still in the game, because you get incapacitated, and then you have 3 options depending on the hero to, help your compatriots out in a way. You can have them help them draw cards, or use powers or whatever, but your turn still is your turn, and then you choose what to do with your powers, so you can discuss with your friends, or you can be like, this is what I want to do. You can stop environment turns, you can destroy environment cards. It's awesome. Like, they really, it makes it so you're not just like, oh, well, I'm out, I guess I'll go hang out for half an hour while everyone else continues playing. Like, you still can play, and it's really cool. They really thought this through whenever they made it.
Cool. Yeah. Very cool to know that, like, the, guys thought about, like you said, other players, it's not just, oh, hey, like, someone can control the board or, like, take you out of the game like that. Like, you can still do your part in it. So, again, cool thing that I learned about it. And if you guys don't know about Sentinels of the Multiverse, hopefully you learned about that, too.
Check it out, if not.
Definitely. So, let's move on to the next.
Guys, this is very similar to Deadpool, breaks the fourth wall, all of his cards, they're just fun. I've been in groups where we played him a few times. I've never played him, so I don't really want to go into too much, but he is just really fun. You can see on the back, there's lots of writing, but he crossed out. He wrote whatever the heck he wants.
Right. So, yeah, like you said, kind of like Deadpool. I don't know any of the characters, so I'll just go with that and leave Pat to the next thing.
This is a villain mini expansion. I know we've had a couple like Ambuscade and stuff like that, but Misinformation is kind of cool. She's like the secretary of the Sentinels, because there's an actual team called the Sentinels in here. All of these characters are Sentinels, but there's actually a team, in the original expansion that is Sentinels. But Misinformation is someone that works for them, and they have to find clues to figure out she's actually the villain. And then as soon as she's the villain, then you can actually attack her and destroy her. But it's really cool that it's not all of these are straightforward that, oh, I have to attack this guy and defeat him. Some of these are like, who's the bad guy? We have to figure it out, and we have to work through things. And they even have a sleeper type thing where you have to protect a Dreamweaver and give her HP and defend her and stuff. Like, they don't take this as just attack, attack, attack. Sometimes there's defense, sometimes there's detective work, like, very cool. I really like, they cover a lot of bases. They don't do the same thing over and over, which we're going to get into in a minute. That's a teaser. They do lots of things different, and they change it up, and they challenge you.
Cool. I don't know what else to say. Again, I like, how Pat's pointing out, like, it's not, just like your average card game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where it's, okay, I gotta get the select points down, like, you can come across other objectives to work on.
Exactly.
So, it's very cool, like, definitely, again, like I said, it's my intro to the multiverse, and I'm definitely very interested so far. So let's see what else we got.
Okay, so next up we got Choke Point. This is a villain mini expansion. We've had, 10 of them so far, I think now?
Something like that.
But it's like crazy how many, things they do. I've not played with this one. I don't know anything about it. I'm really looking forward to it because, like I said, there's like 30 or 40 heroes and there's like, 20 or 30 villains. I've not played them all. I'm very excited to. But I don't have anything more on that one. If you want to talk about art or anything, I don't know.
I don't have much.
Yeah,
just want to keep pulling stuff. Like, again, she looks very cool. Just looking at the card, I guess psychic or something like that. I don't know. So let's just keep going.
This is another mini expansion. This is Silver Gulch 1883. Like a Jonah Hex type thing, maybe. I don't know. I've played in this environment a couple of times. It is very fun. It is very cool. It's Old West, like if you couldn't tell by the name, but it is very exciting.
Cool. Yeah. Pat, just feel free to talk about, like, if you have stuff to say about things, feel free to go on as long as you want. If you guys are watching for me, I apologize. I don't know crap. This is honestly more Pat's video, I would say, than mine. So, anyway, Pat, continue.
This is very cool. I'm very excited to have this. This is one of the primary reasons I backed the Kickstarter. So, we talked about the heroes and the villains and stuff. This is the oversized villain cards, which has, instead of, as you see, like, the villain card is like, whatever it is, 2 inches by 3 inches. These are 4 by 6. It's double wide, so it has both the flip side of each character showing face up so you can see it. But it does every villain from the original game through the final expansion, which I'm very excited to see. Because it's just cool that you have something different so you're not like constantly flipping cards. And, so I don't really have anything else to say. It's the same art, so it's nothing new. You're going to see all of the ones that we showed you, plus 20-something other ones that you obviously didn't see because I didn't break out the entire box because we're not going to make this a 4-hour video.
Right, that would be insane.
But really cool. This was a promotional thing that they did, and anyone who's going to do it, I would recommend getting these. These are really cool. I'm very excited to play with them.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. I really like this. Like Pat said, this definitely sounds like a cool little thing for like collectors, and it looks like they got barcode, a little price tag on the back. So like, hopefully this does make it to stores if it hasn't yet. And, people can go, oh, hey, I just want to get, like, the oversized cards or this or that. Like, I'm seeing price tags and everything. So, it's being sold somewhere, definitely. And, like, even if you're not interested in the game, you just want, like, the cool characters and stuff like that, you can get this little collector's thing. And
all the expansions are, like, 30 and 40 bucks. All the big boxes, the mega expansions are, like, 30 and 40, it says, usually. Yeah. And then this one's like 15. Those ones are 3 to 5. It's very cheap. You could easily wipe out a couple hundred getting ready for this game, but it is worth it. And there's so much playability. Like I said, there's the heroes and the villains, and even if you just want to read the storyline, the little comic that's in there that has the rules and talks about the history of these characters. And the one thing that I did forget to mention. Well, I didn't really forget because this applies to it now. So,
Let's see what the mystery
is. It was by
is.
design.
We kind of planned it.
We planned it. This is the 5th anniversary foil edition. This has it has over 100 different foil hero cards. Which I'm not going to open up now, but it has all the different heroes and the variants, where you'll have like Legacy, but then you have like America's Greatest Legacy, which is an older, like World War II Captain America style Legacy, whereas the modern Legacy is like Superman and so on. So you have all these different variations. But that's the cool thing, is you can play as one hero. Let's say you love Legacy, or you love Unity, or you love Mr. Fixer. They have the original ones. They have, special cards that are additional. You have all these different cool little things that you can get. Plus, these ones have like the variants. So the variants will have different art, and it'll have different power, different incapacitated effects and everything. It's super cool. So I was really excited about this because they said they were releasing this. So this is, another $40 to itself. But this is all of the 100 the 100 hero variants redone and modernized.
That is very cool. Like, legit. Like, so the back, $40. Definitely very cool. So I'd say, like, if you find out you're into the game, you're very hardcore, definitely look into this if you're curious. And let's see what else the next thing is. So, like, quick recap so far. Mega expansions, hero expansions, villain expansions, different environments, oversized cards, like, legit, very awesome for backing the Kickstarter and stuff. And like I said, like, individually, these things look cool. And, like, just looking at all the different hero and villain decks and stuff like that, like, if you're just, like, walking through the store and you see this and you want to get, one character, and it looks, basically, I'm trying to say, it looks like you could get, guys if you want, and you could play somebody in the game, with just guys. You don't have to get, like, the whole, I have to get this expansion. You can go, I'm just going to, like, drop $5 and get Unity or whoever.
Yeah,
so,
you spend, $40 or something to get one of these boxes. I'd prefer the original box because Legacy and stuff is in there. It's awesome. Mm-hmm. Absolute Zero, Raw, some really cool heroes, fighting against Baron Blade in, Wagner Mars base or something, or Ruins of Atlantis, or like, and then, just buy like a couple of these little add-on ones, try it out. After you get, you spend $40 and you get 10 heroes and 4 villains or whatever. Then spend extra $5, get Misinformation, get Ambuscade. That is awesome. That is probably my favorite villain that I've played so far. He's just fun, frustrating. Don't play Citizen Dawn. She's very difficult. And Voss, those two are very difficult. Do those at a later point. They're really fun too, but you don't want those to be your first one because you probably will feel like you wasted a couple $100 buying all this stuff. And you can always just, cradle the plushie while you're in the fetal position crying because Voss beat you so bad. Or whatever. Also,
he's very soft for Metal Robot, just gotta say. I love it. Anyway, what do we got next?
This is just tokens, like an extra token pack. There's little tokens that say if you're doing like +1 damage, or if you're immune to damage, or if damages are irreducible. This is just a little cool thing that they, had in there, which,
So pretty much if you played a card game, like...
It's easy to keep track of things.
Pretty much, so you don't have to use, coins or... Like, I've commonly used dice for, like, Magic the Gathering, just like, oh, hey, my creature's got +1/+1. Here's a dice. So, again, like, little personal, like, little tokens from the game itself to, like, help represent, make it more atmospheric or something, like.
And another cool thing is if you Google Spiff's World, SPIFF, he's got a lot of stuff you can print off that has trackers and stuff. He's got a lot of cool stuff too that really adds into this. And then there's fan expansion Cauldron, and this is a huge universe. And the reason they were doing the Kickstarter is the last expansion should be coming out in January, called Oblivion, which is supposed to end the multiverse, and this is the final expansion of the game. So they were doing this as like to get people in. That being said, the story's not over. They're going to continue in different mediums. They have the tactics. They have a video game RPG that's coming out, and like they have a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's really, it's huge. Like, you guys should really check it out if you haven't, and if you have, you'll appreciate this.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely interested. Like, now that you mentioned the video game, again, I don't know anything. Completely honest. Like, video game does sound cool and interesting. Like, to spawn from a card game, so I'm definitely curious. And like, Pat said, all these different backstories and all the characters, just looking at this stuff really quick at a glance. They put in the time and effort, so it's definitely a labor of love, and it's definitely something worth looking into. And what do we have next?
The final thing we have is I talked about different rules and not doing the same thing over and over. They have the most recent mega expansion, the villains of the multiverse. You'll see it says Sentinels and they cross out because this one focused on, this has a lot of different villain decks. It says 10 villain decks in there. But they added a cool new rule. Some of these villains we already have, and they got recreated. That you can do a 5v5 or 3v3. As we said before, you've got one hero or one villain versus 3 heroes or 5 heroes or whatever. This changes the whole mechanics. You can play this game along with the original, and you can play 5 heroes versus 5 less powered villains, but they work together to try and destroy you. And it's really cool. I've only played this one time. I really enjoyed it. It was like so cool how you're like, oh my god, you can really. We had like Plague Rat working with, Ambuscade and different stuff, and you're just like playing around with these new villains where you're like, oh my gosh. And they have new villains and they have rehashed old villains, and it was really cool. They're really good about changing it up, and they're not doing the same thing. You're not just rolling dice all day, or you're not just drawing cards all day. You're, different, as he said earlier, objectives. And like I said, this is the final expansion. We should be getting a new box shortly, which there's 2 more mega expansions, which we don't have here because there was a shortage at their thing. The Wrath of the Cosmos and the Shattered Timelines, which I'm really excited to get those ones also because they're just so cool. I think Shattered Timelines has one of my other favorite ones, Chrono Ranger, which is very similar to Bishop for any Marvel fans. He's, it's very cool, but I just can't say enough positive things about this. That's why I want to do this video with him and just get this out there. You guys can see it, talk about it, be like, oh my god, this is so cool. And, maybe whenever we all get set up, we can get a huge group going and, maybe make this into a thing. It's just so fun. Highly recommend. Check it out. Buy the original pack. $40. It's a drop in the bucket, but you'll know if you love it. Have some friends over, and make a couple hours of it. It can be a very time-consuming game. We've played games that have lasted 20 minutes to half an hour, and we've had games that lasted like 4 hours. Like it can get really because you have a lot of fun. It's like anything. You're not on a time limit or anything. It's not like a video game where you're just playing through an objective and you have a time limit or you have whatever. Like this, you can stop and you can talk and you can eat and you can discuss and, you're just having fun. You're just hanging out. Like it's like playing poker or something. You're just sitting around. There's nothing hurrying you along but yourself. So very cool. But I would pick up the original pack.
Yeah, I don't know.
First, the purple one in the front.
Yeah,
I'd pick up
the
that
original
first. Try it out, add a couple mini expansions. Misinformation's cool. Ambuscade, highly recommend you get that first, and Unity. That's my favorite hero and villain is Unity and Ambuscade.
From the guy who has some experience, so just saying.
I've only played.
He knows a bit.
I've only played a couple of games, but I've played on the app a little bit, and those 2 are the bomb. If you have to try them out. I've heard. My one buddy loves Guys. I have another friend that loves Ra. Another friend that loves Absolute Zero. Those are awesome too. For me right now, Unity all the way.
Cool.
Until I start playing with all these ones, maybe I'll find a new one. But right now, it's all about Unity. She's just awesome.
Cool.
Like I said, another expansion.
Yeah, cool expansion. Cool artwork. A lot of different characters. Villains, rehashes, whatever. And you said this was the last thing we had in the box.
That was the last thing. Yeah, that was the last thing. But that's a lot of stuff. As we said in the beginning, I backed the Kickstarter because I've played it. I never really owned it. I've always played it with a couple of my buddies, and it's just really fun. Cool. And I highly recommend everyone tries it out, or whenever I'm available, ask me, hey, we can find time to sit you in. try it out, and then go buy it yourself, because that's the one thing I'm looking forward to, is now going over, and I can pack my own deck and sleeve my own cards and go over and be like, I have my own character. Because that's the one cool thing we were reading, is everybody can play the same hero. So you could have 5 people playing Omnitron on Omnitron versus Omnitron.
Nice. It sounds confusing, but very cool.
It is, because Omnitron is an environment, a villain, and a hero. You know, or you can play different ones. You know, you can play tons. There's I believe 3 different versions of Legacy. You know, and then there's a new Legacy coming in, a new expansion, I believe. Maybe not. But I mean, like, there's tons of fun things you can do. You know, you're not, stuck playing. You're not stuck playing one character all the time, or you're not stuck playing one villain. And the villains and heroes have different mechanics. Some villains you want to kill them till their HP runs out, and then the game's over. Some, you need to worry about the minions they have. Like, it's very cool. Some have minions, some don't have minions, some have idols, and it's so cool. Every game is completely unique. I love it. And we'll maybe do a gameplay video later at some point and talk about some of this more thoroughly, but check it out.
Cool. Yeah.
Ask him, get him to buy it.
Right. Definitely, for sure, I plan on, playing games with Pat, and then if we can get camera stuff and whatnot figured out, I would definitely love to record at least a game or 2 of us playing it to, not only show you guys, but, like, definitely, like, I think I've talked about before how these videos, at the very least, are like a journal of my stuff, and this is definitely, a journal of my life, and this is definitely something like I'd like to remember, some years down the line, or at least be able to share with you guys and introduce you to something cool. Like I said, this is my first reaction, seeing all of this different stuff. Pat talked with me about the game a few days ago, introduced some of the cool different characters and stuff, and like seeing all this now and hearing him talk about, so passionate, I'm getting that out of your way because I think I was blocking you.
Oh, that's fine.
But yeah, like, he's very passionate about it. Like, this guy is a hardcore nerd, and I say that in a positive way. But, so if he's invested in something, because he's my brother, he's the older brother, actually, if you can believe it, or don't, I don't know. He is, though, honestly, and I've kind of, in some of my nerdy ways, I followed him, so, like, if he says, Brad, this sounds cool and interesting, you should at least check it out, I will definitely take that seriously. I'm not sure what else to say, so, first off.
Anyone that likes DC or Marvel or Image or Vertigo or Dark Horse or anything, there is a hero or a villain in here that you're going to be like, that is similar to this guy. Well, but it's not a ripoff. There is not a character called Hellboy in this box. There's not a character called, Mr. Terrific, or there's no Green Lanterns, but there's characters that are similar to Green Lanterns. There are characters that are similar, and it's just, I can't say enough positive things. I've gone over, played a couple of games, bought the app on Steam, or bought the Google Play app and, whatnot. And played it, and it's so fun. Like, there's just so much to do, and every game is different. You can play the same heroes and the same villain in the same environment, but if you play the heroes in a different order, the game can work completely differently. And like I said, the variant cards, there's some characters that work really well together, and there's some characters that, they're not very conducive to helping the team. You've got your heavy hitters, you've got your healers, you've got your support characters, you've got your defensive characters, Haka plays everything. You have your jack of all trade characters. He's in the original box. But you have like your heavy hitters like Ra, who just comes out and does damage. But you also have like Argon Adepts, who's a very supportive. He can heal you. Tempest can heal. You have some of these ones that strictly come out to defend people. The original Legacy, has an ability to galvanize, so you increase that damage, and he's more of a support. But then they have one that just heals people and lets them use powers. Like, it's very cool how all of these characters, really mesh well together. And some you can make, but that's the problem is, you may have too many support characters and not enough heavy hitters. So you really got to feel around and play it out and get used to your own play style and find the one you like. Maybe everyone that watches the video will be like, Unity is the best, period, hands down. But probably not. There's probably a couple of you that are going to come on and be like, oh my gosh, Ra. Oh my gosh, Chrono Ranger. Oh my gosh, Argon Adept. You know, like, everyone, that's what I love is I've played with, I think, 10 different people, and we all have different favorites. So whenever I'm playing, I'm not worried about someone coming in and being like, oh, I got to play Unity, you know. You know, my one buddy just loves Absolute Zero, and whenever he comes on, that's what he does. We have someone that loves playing Expatriate. You know, there's just so many cool, you know, Black Widow, Captain America style character archetypes that you're gonna just come in and be like, this looks familiar to me, I want to try it out. You know, and it's just, I can't say enough. And I'm glad that he allowed us to do this video, that he was interested in it. You know, want to spend a little time. Glad you guys are watching it. You know, I don't have anything else to say. I love it. I know he's going to love it, and you guys should check it out. Maybe you'll love it, maybe you won't, but check it out.
So on that note, I guguess you're done with what you got to say. So I'll, you know, do my own quick little conclusion. First off, Pat, thank you for introducing me to the game, and also, you know, bringing the idea of let's make a video about unboxing this and talking about all this stuff. You know, introducing it to you guys, sharing it, you know, for the whole internet, and hopefully, you know, Greater Than Games. If you guys feel like sending us a little money, I'm cool with that. Just saying. You know,
send us variants. Send us more plushies. We'll take it all.
And I mean, also like legit, like if, you know, I'm not saying, you know, we'll sponsor you or you should sponsor us, but like legit, like I'm, you know, talking about this stuff, and we will play a game, and like I said, if I can get, you know, camera stuff worked out so we can, you know, show like how things are being played well,
yeah,
I will definitely put up a video or two at least of us playing, you know, with us, you know, and also some other people. Yeah, some other people who will definitely be involved in the involved with the games and stuff like that. So, thanks for watching, everyone. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever else, leave them in the comment section below. Otherwise, you know, at the end here, I'll just take some, you know, quick pictures just to show off like some of the different things, you know, hero expansions, major expansions, just so you guys can, you know, look at these things, you know, maybe get to read a few things that you couldn't see here because we're sitting a bit far away. But yeah, I think that's all I've really got. So again, thank you for watching.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for having the idea, bringing it to me, and we will catch you in the next video. Peace.
Peace.